I am joined now by the host of the local podcast that showcases local heroes who don't always wear capes. It is Eric Anderson, host of YXE Underground. Good morning.
Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on again. Back at it with another season and another episode. And this time you are featuring a man named Brennan Mills.
Brennan Mills, yes, works for Saskatoon Fire and Flood, which is a restoration and construction company. This one's kind of interesting because in 8 years of doing the podcast, I haven't really profiled a lot of businesses. Lots of nonprofits, lots of teachers, educators, that kind of stuff. But
right.
He was sent in through a nomination on the website, and it was such a nice nomination. And the more I thought about the work that Brennan and his team does in terms of helping people when they are in desperate need, in terms of they've had a fire in their home or business or a flood, something like that. No one wakes up in the morning saying, I can't wait to call a Saskatoon Fire and Flood. But
right.
when you do, someone has to be on the other side to answer. And so I got to spend an afternoon with Brennan at Saskatoon Fire and Flood to learn about the challenges of the job, but why he loves it so much and why he loves giving back to the community. Okay,
so I guess communication is something that Brennan is forced to excel at. How important is that?
Yeah,
what he does.
It's huge. He tells a story about how there was one instance where a person called to say, I need your help. Literally, my house is on fire right now. And when you're in those types of situations, what do you do when you're on the other side? And so, not promising the world to that person, but making sure that they're safe in that moment, and then just walking through the steps in terms of what you need to do next, and showing compassion and empathy, but at the same time too being realistic in terms of how we can help you in that moment. Because you talk about like a communication challenge, like that's a huge one, or an instance where maybe someone's basement is flooding in that very moment, and you pick up the phone. And so, lots of challenges. And so Brennan works a lot with his team, and they've expanded a lot over the last 5 years in terms of just showing that empathy when it comes to communication, and also just saying, what can we do in that moment? Because the people on the other end of the line, they need your help.
Yeah, they are desperate at that time.
Yeah.
And Brennan has also kind of, you've mentioned he's expanding. He's doing a lot of giving back as well.
Yeah, he really is. He talks about, just giving an hour of your time, and as a big organization, if you do that as a team, it can really make a difference. And so they just recently won an ABEX award for community involvement here in Saskatoon, and whether it's through literacy programs or Coats for Kids. The day I spent with Brennan, he was just getting ready for the Coats for Kids program, but he talks in the podcast about why that's so important for him, and then trying to instill those values with his team as well. And he says, lots of people are eager to jump in, and then for some people, maybe not a bit sure, and then if they do it for an hour, they realize, I can do something good for the community again, and that kind of gets them hooked. But I admire his passion for giving back and the value that he sees in it.
And if you do start doing good things for the community, maybe you will be featured on the next episode of YXE Underground. Make sure you check it out wherever you find your podcasts. Eric, thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy.